Hello everyone, this is Syed Tosif and today we will discuss a third unit concept, cloud on demand and sourcing. In the cloud on demand, subtopics are what is the meaning of this cloud on demand, COD, pre-provision, cloud on demand, CPU, memory, virtual machine or resources, dynamic capacity, cloud platform characteristics based on cloud on demand, and we'll discuss a little bit about resourcing. What is resourcing? Okay, so one by one we'll go. Okay, just take an example for first of all we'll discuss one example like just think about a Amazon Big Billion Day or a Flipkart the Great Indian Festival. Okay, that time the utilization of this application will be at the high peak. This is going to be organized one per year. Okay, only once in a year. Okay, these festivals are going to be organized by the Flipkart or the Amazon. Imagine their capacity is to handle 1 crore users at a time. Okay, but fortunately what happened, more than 1 crore users are going to be using the application. So what happens, the system means the user who is experiencing or who is ordering the things may feel like lagging or slow in the application for each and every request and response. Okay, now the question arises, what is the maximum resources that Flipkart or Amazon have are not sufficient for particular event. Okay, and that event is going to be happen only once a year, and it's very small period of time this event is going to be occur. Yeah, based on that question we can understand that one cloud on demand means there is a demand for some resources. It would be a computing resources like CPU, it may be storage resources like memory, or it will be a virtual management or some interfaces, something is there. Okay, there is a requirement for one organization for a short period of time. So if Amazon trying to buy a complete hardware software architecture to handle 2 crores of user, then it will be cost it more. Only for a case of few hours Amazon has to spend lot of money. Because of that, to reduce that things, Amazon can acquire some resources for small period of time as a rent and pay for that small period of time as it usage. Okay, the cloud on demand is that one. This is the mainly used in the supercomputers, where supercomputer are doing some difficult problem analytics. In that one there could be a lot of resources required on the demand, and after processing it has to release that one. Okay, it is no more useful. And another one scenario is that if we adopt this cloud on demand, it will increase the utilization of resources even for 100%. It is example Amazon for keeping those hardware resources for few hours, one person is doing means giving for rent, Amazon utilize, other Flipkart also utilize, some supercomputer owners also will utilize. Like this means we can increase the usability or the efficiency of a resources using the cloud on demand. I hope you understand this concept. So we will check one by one what is this and what are the subtopics, and how we can improve cloud on demand also. Okay, what are the benefits we will get. Okay, as we have discussed, cloud on demand computing is a business computing model in which computing resources are made available to the user on as needed basis. Urgent and short term requirement, implemented using the virtual techniques. Yes, this is very important. How we are going to use this one, there will be virtual tools will be there, means there will be some tools which make everything as a virtual. Okay, virtual means nothing but we can feel like that it is present, but it is actually not present. Leverage the cloud computing without buying the hardware, especially used to reduce the workload. An open Nebula virtual infrastructure engine is an example of tool which we'll going to use for doing this means performing this task. And another one thing, it's not a easy job, but using the tools, a best tools and the expert, they can do it more easily. Following the means some of functionality is there, reduce the cost, means whatever we doesn't have to buy everything, right? So it will reduce, increase the user availability. Yes, we have seen in, just take an example of Flipkart. On that particular peak time, user doesn't feel that one, it's not available. User feel like that even though it is virtually working, user feel that one, it is available for the user. Balance workload, it will maintain the balance of workload, react to short term, reduce the physical footprint of data center, means physically it doesn't require that much long or that much heavy resources. Increase the system utilization, absolutely it will increase the system utilization. Double the workload delivered in the power and cooling envelope. Yeah, with the same usage or with the same input, it will give you double output. This is a simple information about cloud on demand. So we will check another how we can make more efficient the cloud on demand. Okay, provisioning. Okay, in this one what happens, provisioning is nothing but providing something, means pre-providing, means what we are requesting some providers earlier than our requirement, so they will make it everything ready, so within fraction of second we can switch to virtual environment and we can perform our activities. Like pre-provisioning is a process of cloud on demand in which the cloud provider will already initiated the future request for acquiring the resources such as memory, CPU, etc. It is a good option in the cloud computing, so it will reduce the time of commissioning the resources, means it will reduce it will reduce the time of taking the control of the resources. This approach can be deal with the following situation. Okay, some situation will be there, so it will be best suit for that one. Yes, we'll discuss now about in which situation the pre-provisioning is okay, fine, we can work. The size of the capacity, the sizing and the capacity planning is fully understood. So when we are going to pre-request, means we should know this information, what is the sizing capacity, what is the maximum capacity we required, we should know. Instead of we don't know we don't know the information, even though we are requesting, that is not at all useful, then that also a waste of money. The workload is fairly constant, ensuring good utilization level are being achieved. Okay, there are business reasons that require physical separation of workload. The workload can be scaled horizontally means it will be level. Okay, when we say about vertically, then it is getting increased or getting decreased. Okay, but horizontally defines equal. Okay, this is when we what is a pre-provisioning and when we can do the pre-provisioning. Okay, now cloud on demand, CPU, memory or virtual resource. Okay, what is this one? Now provisioning is nothing but we are already telling some vendors that one, for that situation of particular time we require some amount of resources, give me configure the resources so I can utilize virtually some resources on particular time. So now in this one the provider should track of the resources, means what is allocation, who is allocating which resource, who is deallocating which resource. Sorry. So this information should be tracked. If there is no tracking information, then the provider cannot ensure other person that resources are free. Okay, because of that reason we should make a tracker on the CPU, memory and virtual resources. The in cloud in cloud on demand, the provider should track the information about the CPU, memory or virtual resources, so these virtual resources can be utilized efficiently. Okay, in an example, Amazon is the requester and one person is the provider. The provider should track these information. In a common pool, the resources are allocating and deallocating as the requirement rises or get over. Following are the best scenario for this approach. Workload are trending upward so that investment can be aligned with the utilization. Okay, what is the use of this tracking is, first thing, who is using how much. Okay, example, a provider is tracking about Amazon is utilizing memory this much, processor is this much and some other resources this much. So based on the tracking information, he can build the Amazon, he can give invoices to the Amazon, so Amazon also will see, yes, I have used this much, he will build the that provider. Peaks in the workload are long term, means high level of performance will be in the long term, means so we can get full fledged of functionality, we can utilize fully. Okay, the workload scale vertically, so we can easily manage the workload and it will be always increasing. If we manage, if it is not there, then the resources will not use efficiently. Workload means whatever work output we will get, that will be less. There is a chance to buy out dynamically capacity as it proves advantageous then. Now, this is a mechanism system. It is also required in the cache cloud on demand. Okay, why it is required? Because we have to utilize resources in proper efficient way and we have to track information so we can bill also. Now, the next topic is dynamic capacity. What is dynamic capacity? We'll discuss now. Dynamic capacity is nothing but till now we have discussed that only. Okay, what is dynamic capacity means, the resources utilization is not a fix. Okay, in this one the capacity would be dynamic based on the requirement. Okay, so what is the means, it's a cloud on demand is a based on dynamic capacity where acquiring additional processing power for a short term period of time can be shared the resources of the pool. Services is more based on the service account to base on the utilization, and finally billing is done on the basis of users. This approach ideal for me, this is very suitable for the below situations. Okay, the workload is very variable and multiple workload can be hosted on a single machine, thus leveling out the utilization. Means workload, the processing is somewhat variable, means it's not a fixed thing, might be sometimes or many times it will be a lower peak, but suddenly or more sometimes it will be go to the highest peak, so at that time we required additional resources. Okay, the workload has a short period where system utilization increases massively. Okay, very short period that system utilizes massively. Okay, but majority of time it is not resource intensive. Okay, the workload can share a physical platform. Okay, so this is also one good uh, situation where we can utilize the dynamic capacity sharing the physical platform. The workload is designed to scale vertically. Okay, always the workload is going to be increased, it's not going to be decreased, means it is a varying but it is increasing. User want to dynamically balance workload across server, so server is nothing but different platforms. So when you distribute a workload, so you will get a balanced work on every provider or the every server. User want to continue to run a very small workload without incurring the overhead associated with running a physical server to support it, means within a less burden or risk, we can get a good performance. Okay, these are the approaches, particular situations we can utilize. Then we come to benefit. What is the use of benefits of dynamic capacity? The first thing is we are dividing the things, right? We are dividing the processing, we are dividing the burden. So first of all, it will reduce the load. Okay, the load such as processing load, as well as cooling load or maintenance load. This everything it will reduce us. How it will reduce us? It will utilize the virtual machines, dedicate processor, and uncap the partitions. Sometimes guaranteed, okay, that is it will be do the proper work. Very short deployment time. Yeah, benefit is that one, deployment of this situation is very short, means within a fraction, means some duration only we can do it. Lowest possible cost for the deployment of small workload. It will be a cost effective. We can reduce the very lowest cost for small workloads. Less management efforts. Yes, we doesn't have to manage much. For example, when using virtual machine will take care most of the management. Most granular charging schemes. Okay, means it's somewhat we are just charging scheme, means how much we have to pay, that is very less. If we compare to multiple times of integration also, it will be very less. Okay, it's a scheme like if you are combining multiple times pay also, it will be very less. Complete decommissioning of partition with resources being available for other purposes. So if our work is done, we can decommission, we can leave our control, so the resources will be available for other persons or other work. Flexible workload management, where workload can be compensated for each other, thus reducing overall utilization. Ideal for environment with identical system management, utilization for development and testing. Yeah, this in this one what it's saying means the functionality is same, only we are increasing the processing power or the capacity. It's not a new servicing we are adding. Okay, the functionality is same, just we are adding some extra CPU, memory, or some other required resources. Okay, what are the limitations in this one? Dynamic capacity shows short peaks, must not exceed certain limit, and need to be monitored to ensure that the best value is obtained. Example, we have already utilized that cloud on demand, but it is not fully utilized, then what is the use? So we have to make ensure that one, whatever the we are in acquiring resources should be utilized properly. Utility cloud on demand provide processor resources only to be uncapped partitions. Okay, so in this one now, cloud platform characteristics based on cash on delivery. There we have some platforms, right? The server as a service, application as a service. So some of them we are going to be characterized based on the cloud, because each and every functionality we cannot give as a cloud on demand. Some of hardware concept we can make it. Okay, what server we can give? Server is a, okay, physical segregation of server. Okay, means the server will not have a physical connectivity, it's a virtual connectivity. High administration cost due to the management of more physical server. Okay, this is some limitation if we are using a low end servers. Limited and complex scalability, maximum 8 processor per server, slower turnaround time for server deployment. Turnaround time is nothing but the from the start to the end is nothing but turnaround time. Okay, so it might be if you are using low end servers with some 8 processor or something, then it will decrease your capacity or your turnaround time. longer lead time for server deployment from ordering of server to setting up the infrastructure. No ideal for short product life cycle application due to fixed cost expenditure for hardware. Wastage of hardware resources for application that react to a volatile market. Inability to share resources between application. That's a direct meaning. Wastage of unused processing cycle. If the application does not fully utilize the resources, no hardware or application interdependency forcing downtime on the application owners. Okay, no hardware or application interdependency forcing downtime on the application owner. Okay, downtime is nothing but this is a duration of time in which our functionality will be in past position, means it will be in down or it is unused, it is undeployed. Okay, that is nothing but a downtime. So there is no hardware or software interdependency forcing downtime on the application owner. Okay, no capacity on demand capabilities. Downtime is required for adding a new hardware. Low price per CPU cycle purchase, means when we are purchasing the things it will be low cost only, but how we are utilized, based on that it will be cost more, means if we are not utilized efficiently, then it will cost more. On demand platform. Okay, these are the characteristics or the output of if we are using a low end server. Okay, if we are using on demand platform. Okay, now how our characteristics will be there on the cache cloud on demand. So physical or logical segregation of server or partition, it will be the same. Lower administrator cost due to less physical server management, this also same. Possibility to leak quick turnaround time for new application deployment or increase the capacity according to the business requirement. Yes, in this one it is getting changed, means it is a quick turnaround time for new application deployment or increase the capacity according to business. Enhance time to market for a new product launch with immediate availability of CPU memory. Okay, if you are using on demand platform like servers, then it will be give this much advantages if you compare to the low end server. Okay, enhance and non ideal for short product life cycle application due to the fixed expenditure for the hardware. Waste of hardware resources for application which react to a volatile market. Ability to share input output, means these are peripheral devices like printer and everything, CPU and memory resources between application. Ability to take advantage of unused CPU memory if dynamic virtual machine reallocation or share pool methodology is implemented, means here the ability is that one, it can be utilize the unused CPU or the resources for provisioning of a platform of independent hardware and application, forcing downtime on application owner. Carefully capacity planning and management requirement, means it is if you want to do something change, okay, hardware or application which is not dependent even though, but it will ask the owner to make for some downtime. Okay, so it requires a good planning. Capacity on demand capability, no downtime is required if cloud on delivery CPU or memory is sufficient. Yeah, here also the thing which overcomes the last point, higher price per CPU cycle but lower cost per CPU cycle actually utilize. Okay, now we will come to another last is dynamic capacity platform. If it is a dynamic capacity platform, how our functionality will be there. Choose virtual machine or workload. Virtual machine implementation for application consolidate, so it will automatically choose. Lower administrative cost due to the less physical and logical server management, there will be no such thing. So just we are uh, commanding for dynamic capacity can cater to quick turnaround time for new application deployment, enhance time to market for new product launch with immediate availability of infrastructure and setup, ability to scale up and down, which is ideal for application with short life cycle, ability to cater to the application which react to volatile market, thus it is that is scaling up and down capacity. So it will be automatically react to the requirement. Ability to share input output devices, CPU, memory resources between application, ability to take advantage of unused processing. This also is same thing, but in this one what is the thing is, uh, the administrator cost will be less. We are using virtual machines and some marketing scenario, and it will be react to the how the resources are going to be utilized. Okay, no hardware, ninth point is no hardware or application interdependency, forcing downtime on application owner as workload can be dynamically moved to facilitate maintenance, etc. Okay, workload is moving, okay, for which we have demanded the provider will take the workload. Capacity on demand capability, no downtime is required as the machine is fully configured. Higher price per CPU cycle but lower cost per CPU cycle. You actually use average price due to the ability to optimize utilization and rapidly deploy. Okay, this is all about the characteristics, and different characteristics we have discussed, like if it is a low end server how it will be, if it is a on demand platform which we earlier discussed, if it is a dynamic capacity platform how it would. Then sourcing is nothing but what we have discussed till now. Everything comes under the sourcing only. Yes, sourcing. Till now we have discussed whatever the things are there, that completely depends on those are discussed as a source only. What is sourcing is nothing but we are providing services to someone else by taking some amount of pay. We are taking some pay or money. Okay, that is nothing but sourcing. Outsourcing is nothing but we are giving these services to out of our organization, means the cloud computing only. Nowadays the cloud computing is blooming. This is the things where can utilize our complete resources efficiently, and where other person also will get the resources in cheaper cost. Okay, so while we comes to cloud sourcing, it's come like configuring the source, means configuring the cloud maintenance and other functionality management or consulting to the resources. Okay, whatever we are performing in the cloud, everything comes under the sourcing. Okay, this is all about today's topic. Okay, so we'll have another topic tomorrow, and we'll take a Scilab. We'll have a discussion on Scilab program 8 tomorrow. Thank you everyone.